Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode of GeekVerse podcast. I am one of your hosts, the Lung Taylor Field, and I'm joined by.
I'm the barefoot bastard, Kirkland Patzer.
Yes, we're
Rhymes. I
here.
like
That does rhyme. I do like it. We're talking Alien again, and where's our handy dandy? Oh, his eyes are cut off for our wallpaper. Mr. Slater. We're here talking Alien Earth. Episode 4, spoilers review. We're going to break it down non-spoilers first and then get into the nitty-gritty. But before we do that, a couple of plugs. You can find us with your internet connection in the search bar. GeekVerse.ca is our home base. GeekVerseCast is our Twitter. GeekVerse is our Facebook. Be sure to check us out on the Patreon where you can get ad-free exclusive early content. It's a great place to be right now. Lots of benefits and retrospectives just out the wazoo. But more importantly, I want to shout out these legendary people. These folks are fantastic. They've been there since the dawn of time. Patreon producers: Aaron Braden, April of Darkness, Jack Grant, Sam, Superbad Mike, The Good God Loves Me 69, Jeremy Renner, Charlie Randall, Cocktail Clay, John with no H. And you know what? That's not a cap. If you want to be a Patreon producer, you can go skadoodle right over the Patreon. You can be getting your name listed right there if you want. It's a fantastic perk, along with all the ad-free content, all the extra episodes, and tons of stuff, voting on polls, asking questions, tons of great stuff, and joining for After Nines as well. Again, it's definitely it's worth your bang and your buck, dare I say. So, what else has been going on lately? You did a side quest, right?
I did a side quest with Dylan. Yeah, we went over opening night live for the Gamescom there, and yeah, it was an action-packed episode. It was like a 2.5-hour conference thing, and there was a big Kirby Air Riders Nintendo Direct that we paired up on that, and we also talked Sword of the Sea. So if you've heard about that game, that's the latest PlayStation release. Yeah, no, it was a fun episode. We had a lot of fun, and yeah. What else? Is that it?
What else has been popping
I
off
guess it's only
here?
Tuesday. It feels like it's later on in the week for me. It feels more like it
does.
should be Wednesday. Not saying that I've had a bad week, but it feels like a lot's happened.
That's what my coworker said today when we're walking into work at 8 a.m. Like, it feels like Friday today. I'm like, that's not good. You're off
He's
for a
got
rough
Bailey's
week.
in his coffee. He's like pre-gaming for the weekend. I think it feels like Friday today.
TGIF, right? No. No.
That's funny.
But yeah, so Alien Earth, we're doing those right now, and then we got the Peacemaker review season 2 that's popping off, and we got Dexter. We got the semi-finale final of Dexter this week, and then the finale next week, which I realized I'm going to be missing. So you and Travis got to hold down the fort because I'm going to be out of town.
I miss you.
Fuck. I'm going to miss
remote in. You'll be like John with no H. Just walking around.
I'll be walking around the hotel.
Yeah.
No, I'll be checking out that review when you guys are doing it.
There you
so.
go. We'll get your thoughts in a future possible After 9.
Oh, absolutely. What else do we have creeping in right now? We got some stuff, newscasts and whatnot, and some other interesting Patreon exclusive stuff that we'll be popping off with. And Bread and Butter, that's coming up down the road here. Top 10 TV shows, top 10 video games, and whatnot. But other than that, yeah, there's just stuff cooking, episodes popping off. Travis told yous that are happening. And whatnot. So yeah, lots of stuff going on. Just check our feeds to get all the latest and greatest details. So without further ado, Kirkland, you were not here last week, were you? So
I was not. No.
Give us your vibes on episode 3, and then lead into your non-spoilers for this one.
My vibes were they were higher than they were for the opening twofer that we got. There was some things I did. I mean, I'm not going to rehash what I said in that first week's episode, but I feel like just the initial introduction and like the sending us off on this adventure in this new world that is this Alien Earth event, like based, 2 years before the events of Alien, if I'm not mistaken, or sorry, Aliens. I'm a little fuzzy on all the details right now, but
you're right. 2 years.
2 years before Aliens? Is that what it was?
Alien.
Yeah. Oh, the first Alien.
Yes, the first one.
Okay. See, like that type of stuff of just thinking that like stuff like this is happening 2 years before Ripley, encounters the xenomorph, and like where we were when that movie released of like the sending off of what the xenomorph is and just the whole introduction of this world. Knowing that is in 2 years while watching the show, I feel like it bothers me a little bit because I don't necessarily love just the, I guess, the lore of what's going on Earth. Like we haven't seen a lot of stuff with the five, and the specifics of like who's running the world, but just what's been shown. I think through the show, I just haven't necessarily been loving based on what I've already seen through the Alien movies. If that makes any sense at all, but
Mm-hmm.
just having that as like a little cloud over me throughout the entire adventure is something that I think will hinder my overall score by the end of it, and just yeah, just thinking of like this sinking in with the rest of the Alien franchise, and of course the first Alien movie being one of my favorite movies of all time. I that's a masterpiece in my mind, and it's just such a great piece of sci-fi, horror. Anyways, I did enjoy the overall adventure though. Now that we're in the second week, and I can kind of look past that a little bit more, like okay, yeah, I know our players. I know this boy Wonder. I know Wendy. I know our yeah, just the rest of the cast and who we're going on this adventure with. And I am enjoying the performances and just some of the dynamics between other characters. I'm liking like Timothy Oliphant's character. I'm really vibing with just where we are with the show. I think it's more so just my enjoyment of him more than anything, and just to have him in this role, which is different than what we've had in the past. I'm upset that we can't use our freaking Star Wars intro anymore because of the monetization music, but just because I love I love Timmy, and it's fitting for the show. It would have been a good one to throw on for the introductions there, but anyway, getting back to my just overalls for last week. I'm definitely a lot more positive on the show. I think I still have some negatives. The boy genius. I don't even like what's his actual name. Poi Caviar. Poi Cavalier. Something like that.
Um,
It is boy though,
yeah,
right?
it is boy.
Yeah.
Yes, they call him
Whatever
boy
the hell he is.
genius, but then he's
I'll call
also
him the barefoot
cavalier.
bastard because he's never wearing shoes. I am maybe warming up to him a little bit more than I did initially. I think it's more so just the performance, like the actor. Like I can appreciate to a certain level of like him playing the character that is the boy Cavalier. But I just am so annoyed with the character and just his, I don't know, just maybe some of the writing around him. I think I could have just maybe taken a lot less of him and have more of like I don't know, maybe more Timmy Oliphant in a more main role. But
Did you think he was gonna get it last week when he's leaning over the egg and he's like giggling about it, and Oliphant just pulls him
no,
back when it opens?
yeah, I'm hoping that is his eventual. I mean, minor spoiler. I guess that doesn't happen in this episode, but just his eventual demise. I am curious how it's gonna go. I think it will go kind of in that direction, but I didn't think it was gonna happen right then. There, Timmy was too quick on the rescue, but So last week it was definitely a step up, and I think this week's episode was a even further step up. I did watch last week's episode like just yesterday, so it is pretty just in the forefront of the memory. So I might be like mixing some scenes together. But no, I did enjoy that. That's what was I gonna say? I can't remember now. Enjoyed last week, but this week I am a step up in the positivity direction. Also, I think there's a really crazy sequence that happened kind of in the first act of this episode, just like sci-fi horror, and yeah, I was really disturbed and interested on just what this is going to be meaning for the rest of the show, and just how it's going to progress, and probably a terrible direction like all these alien adventures go when humans are messing with aliens and gene splicing and whatever the hell they're doing. But no, I am interested in some of the stuff that's going on, and then so some other things I don't love, but I don't know. It's a really good looking show. It's fun to watch and follow like week to week, and I'm glad I'm not just hating it, because that would be unfortunate every week, just really not digging with certain characters, and
Yeah. Uh, This episode definitely had the heebie-jeebies, and there was some stuff going on that I really, really liked with one of these alien creatures. It was a very intense moment, but yeah, it's just kind of you know moving the plot along and kind of outlining. I guess it would be. I think last week I said to Travis there are like three distinct narratives that were kind of moving forward here, and so I guess it's still three, but there's a couple things that I was reading about over the course of this week, and after today's episode it makes me feel a little bit more reaffirmed on the possibilities of these different things, and I'll mention them when we get into the spoilers, but with Oliphant's character in particular. But there's just some interesting stuff going on. So I think this was a really, really fun time, and it was very, very freaky. And the ending had me really, really interested, and I'm curious to see where that's going to go. But yeah, I just think that we're on a really, really good path so far, and I'm really enjoying it. The one thing, if I had to say, that was always pulls me out is just the rock music when the credits hit in each episode. It's like I
Oh yeah,
forget about it, but when it hits, it's like, oh fuck, this just pulls me out of it.
that's fair. Maybe it's supposed to, because it's the credits. It's taking you out of the adventure. Back to reality.
That's right. Yeah, those xenomorphs here. Yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah. Cool. Well, anything else you want to add before we break it down?
No, let's break it down.
We'll break it down right after this ad break. And we are back. So, do you have a place you want to start at, or can I tiptoe into something?
Well, yeah, you take me. You take me somewhere.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, picture the scene. Timothy Oliphant's character is a Utani droid. Repurposed. Sorry, context.
Okay. I'm like waiting for the sentence to end. Dramatic pause.
I read this theory that that Oliphant's character is a repurposed, reprogrammed robot from the Weyland Yutani Corporation. That's why when the
Moreau.
The Magano ship crash landed, he was able to just sync up to Mother and download everything right away and connect with it. That's something that someone said in retrospect. I thought, like, that makes sense, because we saw Morrow do the same thing, connecting to Mother and downloading information, but he was able to do it just like that, right?
And especially, yeah, Timothy Oliphant's character is so interesting. Kirsch, I think, is his name, and just the way that he even like handled the situation with Moreau when he was interacting with the other two lost children, and it seemed like he just knew exactly like what he was, like more so than how another type of android would react, right? Or did they just already know that he was who he was? I don't know.
And
it just seemed like he was very. I mean, Kirsch is also just like that when he interacts with pretty much everyone, but there was something in that interaction that seemed like a little sussery and adds to that theory that you're pitching.
And he also is allowing things to unfold with Moreau and the kid, right? The synthetic. So he's hearing the whole conversation, and he knows okay, they're going to try and lure a human in here to impregnate, which it looks like this kid has chosen Wendy's brother, Hermit, which is not looking good for him, but at this point, I'm thinking, okay, if he's going to allow this to happen, allow them Morrow to escape and get this, out of there or something like that. But again, it's a theory, it's a thought. To me, it kind of makes sense, but we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, no, I like that idea. He definitely gives off certain David-isms when he's and just other like synths that we've experienced. Pretty much everyone in every Alien movie, they're always sus. You can't really trust them. Oh, except for the one.
Bishop.
Yeah, Bishop.
Aliens.
There you go. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He's loyal to the end. But just the way that, like you said, like he is letting these things unfold, and just like how David does, he's just curious what's going to happen. Like when he infects what's his face with the virus and Prometheus there. So I am interested in just where that goes. Like when he eventually confronts. Singh, I think is his name. And
Yes.
and like the one that's talking to Moreau. Because yeah, that's interesting. That's like one like adventure, whatever you would call it, storyline arc. Like between those two characters, Moreau and Singh, that I'm not necessarily loving the most. Just like the actual specifics of their interactions. I think maybe I could have just taken a little bit less. Like I did like the scene when they're kind of getting close to each other, but then like as soon as he finds out where he's from, it's just like, oh, it's game over. And it just, yeah, he's straight up like holding his family hostage now. And it just seemed like it went really quick, that reveal. I thought maybe it could have been interesting if it like just really builds up through like maybe an episode more at least. So didn't love how that necessarily just rushed ahead. And this guy's like already just a wild card now. You know, he's calling out, well, why the fuck is he here? My brother's not here. And he's just like instantly now just like super sus and like acting weird. Like even when he talks to Isaac, I'm like, this guy's such a fucking idiot. He wants to be named after Isaac Newton and he can't figure out that this guy is the most sus individual ever. It's like, what do you need from the lab? No. And he's like sweating and he just looks like a heroin addict. It's like, oh my gosh, like this is just so corny to me. But so I'm not necessarily loving that. I think the, you know, kind of going all over the place here, but just another scene that I really did enjoy is when they're all kind of like talking about the idea of like what they are. It is in that moment when he's kind of going after Hermit for being there, like Wendy's brother. But yeah, for that character, I'm not necessarily loving the most, and I don't want him to really be a factor through the whole season. I want it to be wrapped up pretty quickly. So I'm hoping Kirsch just pulls the plug on something there, and Moreau progresses his whatever he's doing.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be interesting to see because whether or not he does pull the plug, I mean, his focus is definitely there, but we see that, I mean, a few of these synths are kind of going a little bit berserk, right? At least, I don't want to say 3 because I think the one chick who wants to be the number 1, I think she's kind of like chilled a little bit. It feels like that storyline kind of just simmered down a lot, you know, especially when Boy Wonder is like, and you learned French in a day. Can you speak alien? Just shits all over.
I burst
her.
out laughing in that scene. It's just like the father who's like, will never like the second child, right? Like you'll never
right.
not be that character. It was just so funny because they did have like a nice scene together. Like I did like that scene when she's talking to him in his office, but instantly he's just completely blown away by Wendy and what she's able to do.
Oh yeah, which is cool. I love that. We'll talk more about that after. But yeah, I think with Sing's character and that just taking a complete dark turn, it does really, really escalate and him trying to get this egg out, and now he's got to lure a person in there and just try and get an embryo out. Yeah, it's funny. I guess it makes sense. It's called Alien Earth, so it makes sense why Morrow is focusing on the one thing I want is just one of those xenomorphs. And I guess the xenomorph is probably the most, out of all the alien species, the most sought after, I would say, just for what it can do. But I mean, the other alien really had a very powerful moment this episode where they really just focused on its intelligence and a few other factors to it. Yeah, it was very freaky because it just like took complete control of it.
Yeah, that was the disturbing scene I was shouting out in the non-spoilers. That initially I'm like, okay, we're gonna have just the CGI sheep get fucked up by the alien, but that when it actually like just rips out the eye and then like it's still kicking now and like observing them, I really, really love that scene. And that was something where I'm like, okay, I actually really like the idea of having these like different species as factors so that we don't just have to have 100 xenomorphs in here that our heroes are just dispatching like nothing. Because the fact that, I'm trying to like not just hold too much comparisons to just the xenomorph that like, I've just experienced like the other movies. Of course, there's been different versions. I mean, we did the retro, and it seems like there is different power levels at times for like many different Xenos. But like even when the Xeno like takes the brother, I actually did like that moment, like the reveal of, you know, we're talking about like how the hell is he supposed to survive this? He's not a fucking synth. Going back to last week's episode, but then it was like the same idea was gonna like take him and actually like. What's the word? Repopulate essentially. Just do what they've done with that deleted scene in Alien, that super horrific one. Like I did like that outcome, but when they actually like battle and he's just like getting tossed around by the Xeno, I'm like, man, he would have been just fucking ripped in half like instantly by these things. Like that does bother me when it's just like a human taking these. The fact that we have so many of these synths also, like I think it helps, but just like when it is like a fragile little especially this guy. Like, no disrespect to it, but it's just like they're making the character seem like a little wimpish. He's just like a little medic. Like he's not really like a big fucking Arnold Schwarzenegger commando looking motherfucker. So, anyways, side tangent. But getting back to that other alien, like the eyeball alien, I just love that scene when it like comes back to life and they're just like reading like the cognitive levels on the waveform, and it's like, look at it, like it's looking at us right now, and it's just so creepy the way that it's just staring at him. And then
Mm-hmm.
Timothy Olyphant's like performance of just like, he's like, that is a very intelligent life form right there. It's just like, it's just such an interesting scene, and one that I really like for this adventure, and that's like an inclusion to the overall Alien franchise that like I don't believe we've seen this specific species before, but like I think it's fun to have in this adventure nonetheless.
Yeah, no, it's definitely something new and interesting. And just when they're talking about its intelligence, I think they did a really good job of kind of exposing that and emphasizing that. And yeah, just the way it was staring at them and it was listening to them and whatnot. It just wasn't moving, just watching them. Uh, I like the uh, I like the idea of seeing what this thing would do against the xenomorph, and what would happen there if the two would, was it going to try and like assimilate into the other parasitic creature or vice versa. I don't know, but yeah, it's freaky because the way you really get to see it operating on a close-up scale here, where it goes into the sheep's eye, it rips its eye out, and then it's like, even though it has different pupils all around it, it goes into the eye socket, and then it like merges all its pupils into one pupil and
Yeah.
focuses on something. And I guess it's just, I thought that it was taking on all of its host's intelligence and getting smarter and smarter, which I feel like that's the case still. But they say no, it's just already highly intelligent, and its goal, I guess, is just to get into the biggest and, I don't know, meanest, biggest predator that it can, and then just sit in there for a while and control it. Like it's gonna be interesting to see what comes out of this.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, no, I really like the design too of just like the eyeball. And it's so creepy when it just has that like giant pupil that just like staring at them. It's yeah, cool design for sure.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Where do you want to go next?
I'll go back to that scene when they're all just around the table, and just like they're kind of socializing. But at this point in time, like it's been what like how long has it been since they like got their new bodies? You think? Has there
Oh,
been
it's
like time
it's been a couple
skips?
months.
Okay, so yeah, it's been a couple of months. They've been in their new bodies. Um, Isaac, like he's been doing things and feeling good about what he's been doing. Like he's working in the lab with Kirsch. Um, I can't remember. I think it's Curly is her name, like the number two. Like she's pretty, she's bootlicking boy wonder, and just wanting to be the new version of him, essentially. Will never happen, I guarantee
Mm-hmm.
it. But yeah, so and then like the other ones are just kind of having their own. I don't know, like I don't want to call it like a soul searching like journey, but it kind of is because like what is life now that this is us, and just talking about like wanting to go see their former families. Like I just like that dynamic of um like the philosophical idea, like what actually happened here, because they're still the same souls, but like now they're synthetics and owned by this company. And even when Boy Wonder's like number two guy is having that conversation with Hermit and just explaining how like that's not your sister anymore, like you'll never get her back, like that is the most expensive piece of property in existence, just because like it thinks it's your sister, it's still our property. So just like them actually discussing how the world works now for them, I thought that was kind of a cool scene, and something that I think and I hope will keep kind of going as the season carries on with because I imagine when Boy Wonder hears Isaac has a name, I don't think he's really gonna like that, because he's all about the lost boys, and keeping Peter Pan, which I'm still not a fan of, like at all. There's a couple there's a couple lines that they like try and like make it tie in. I can't remember if it was this week's episode or last week's, but when he's talking to Wendy and just doing like a line from Peter Pan and like, oh, you fought the crocodile, now you hear the tick tick tick. It's like, dude, fucking Christ, just stop trying to make these like these 2 points intertwined. Just make your Peter Pan, version of what's going on. But yeah,
Yeah, well said. I got a kick out of it when he was reading Peter Pan over the PA system. Just think, if you're working in this fucking place and this guy's reading
man.
Peter Pan every
you
night.
probably fucking hate Peter Pan. It's like when we went to Target and Frozen just came out and I was working seasonal and they just had like the sing along version going all day.
Oh yeah.
And I hadn't even seen the movie, but I had heard like every song and it was, yeah.
Oh yeah. God damn.
Good times.
So just the idea too of just these of roaming around on the island. We got to see the two scientists, which I can't remember their names. They are married, which I had no fucking
Yeah, that was a
clue.
big drop. Dame Sylvia and Arthur Sylvia. Her name is Dame.
Dame. That's I thought Dame was a title, like Mr. and Mrs. and then Dame.
Is it? I don't think it is. I think Dame is like from it's like a 50s way of saying like, look at these ladies. Look at these dames. Now it sounds
British,
like a dog.
a great dame.
There you
Honorific
go.
title given to women who have been admitted to certain orders of chivalry.
Oh, okay. So it is like a
Female
title.
knights.
There you go. Look at that Dame.
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 But yeah, so they are man and wife, and one of them is having a big existential crisis kind of moment, not feeling happy with doing these experiments, and the other one is just having trouble in paradise running their little like counselor sessions, which that scene also fucking terrified me.
Yeah, that was a good scene. It had some Pearl isms to it. That character.
Yes.
Yeah, it was interesting. I don't think they have to be married to like make this story like what it is. I didn't get any vibes that they were married before now, and I'm curious how like they're gonna progress with that. I imagine it's funny. This guy just reminds me of like the geeky guy from Avatar, like the other scientist that works with Sigourney. Yeah, I can't remember his name now, but just similar mannerisms, this character, and it's like same idea. He's like the scientist. He's not liking like what the company's doing and trying to go against it. So very much fits that archetype. And for her, it seems like there's times that she's super against what's his name, Boy Cavalier, with just how he treats them, because she kind of is feeling like she's the mother of these children and like the more sentimental that's not the right set. Maternal. There you go. I don't know why I said sentimental. Yeah. The more maternal aspects of like treating these children. So it seems like she's been like very much at odds. But then also like when they're having that conversation, she's like, Arthur, you're a fucking idiot. You have no idea what you're talking about. I trust Boy Cavalier. He's such a genius. And it just seems like very backwards. So I imagine they're just going to keep kind of escalating. I don't think she's going to eventually be like, oh, you were so right. But who knows? It's kind of wishy-washy for her specifically. And yeah, I don't know. Arthur's Arthur. I imagine he's going to get fucked up by an alien species, unfortunately. He just fits that type of character.
He does fit that kind of character. Yeah. Yeah, but hard to say. Yeah, I feel like most of them are actually going to die. I don't think most of them are going to come out on top. I think there's just going to be nasty accidents as these things start to escape or whatnot. But again, and this is just me making like a long far out prediction, where I think these aliens will just kind of live on this private island and no one's going to touch it. Prodigy will collapse in the near future, and that's the end of that. But we'll see. I feel like if they leave an alien alive on this island, then they have something they can pull from in a future alien project.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, for sure. It's just hard for me to think that it could actually be contained. Like if it's like the ultimate, like intelligence-wise, like it just seems like it's the ultimate organism. Specifically the Xeno, and now we're getting introduced to the eyeball thing. Like that can easily get off this island if it just finds a shark.
Oh yeah.
Right? Like or anything. They could get on an airplane, take over a human. It kind of like it's pretty obvious Like if I had that thing in my eye, I think it'd be pretty obvious. You'd probably
Your
just
old
see
eye
my
just
socket.
dangling.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, it was gross. But yeah, it is a good idea though for just future projects,
Hmm.
and I could definitely see that happening.
Like you said though, that these things, it's fast. They can wipe things out fast and whatnot, and they take over really, really quickly. And I feel like in Alien versus Predator, the first one, they were doing the translations. We're like, oh yeah, entire civilization was wiped out overnight. So these things are, they do move fast. At least that's just the Xenos. We don't know necessarily what the other ones are like in terms of reproducing and such. But so far we've got, I mean, that ship had a lot of species, but so far what we've seen are the insect bugs, the Xeno, the weird flower satchel thing that has the vine that is hanging upside down, and
Right.
then what am I
The
drawing a
eyeball thing.
blank? Yes, eyeball thing. Thank you. I can't remember if there were any other ones that we saw, but the ship was packed with more.
Yeah, when Boy Wonder goes and talks to Kirsch in the lab for like the first time, and that's when he pulls him away from the. I guess it's last week's episode, but it looked like he was like shining this light at this little alien thing in the tube. I can't remember what, if that was the eyeball one or not. But I thought there was more species. I mean, the ship was full, right? It was a full research vessel, so I imagine
Yeah.
there's plenty in there. They probably have the fucking black suit, the symbiote in there, for all we know.
Hmm.
Um, yeah. What was I gonna say next? Oh, there was the whole thing with the frequency of like what's going on with Wendy, and she's able to find this frequency of like the xenomorph language. How do you feel about that? That she can just talk to the xenos?
Well, that's what I was kind of speculating on the review last week, thinking, okay, like this robot would just wake up and be able to just hear them or anything like that. But it makes sense that after being battle damaged, okay, she could tune into different frequencies and pick up on the kind of chatter that they have. Very interesting. It has me pretty excited because aliens, they do talk. We've seen them communicate in previous films, so this is just on a much more presented format that I really, really like. So it'll be interesting to see how it unfolds. And again, it makes sense. She's got the capacity to do it, the technology. So yeah, she's doing it.
Yeah, I am unsure kind of how I feel on that. It just seems like such a cheat code that she's just going to be
Mm.
able to like control the Xenos. I think I would I don't even know because I was going to say I think I would like it if there was like some other reason that like she's able to just um what's the word? What does Jacob do to imprint? There you go.
Yes.
To get imprints on them or something, and that's how. Other than just hitting the frequency, I guess it might be different because that's like a baby one. Like maybe it is like if she were to talk to the adult Xeno that's pissed off and fucking trying to murder things, like you think he would just let her pet him, or it's like, hey, I'm gonna
No,
fucking kill you
different
because you're the
story.
enemy. Yeah, it's tough to say. That one also, like, it was it a different Xeno because it just came out of a lung versus like a whole body? Because like because the Xenos look different when they come out. Like they obviously from like the first Alien, the one that shoots out is a lot. It's just like a little small worm looking thing, kind of what this was, I guess. But I don't know if it was just like the light in my living room making it look weird. It just looked like a different version of the Xeno. But maybe I got to relook at that scene.
I think I got to relook at it. I got to do like a side by side. Most
Hmm.
Xenos, they all look different. They have very different
Yeah.
looks to them. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, you mentioned the lung. I mean, we got that answer, so they didn't put the lung back into Hermit, which I'm glad they did not do that. They just kept it for their experiment, and they were pretty open about it
Yeah.
too. They're like, "Wait till you see what we did to your real lung."
Yeah.
Just weirdly
I
talking smack.
graffitied it. I drew all over it. I drew dicks all over your previous lung. Fuck, having like one robot lung and one normal lung, like I don't know. It just seems like that would be. I mean, yeah, science is endless in this universe, so it doesn't really make too much. It doesn't matter how, like, if it makes sense or not for because it. I don't know. It's just I'm not even gonna try and answer that because my lack of knowledge on the biology of humans. But yeah, I did like when he just lays out like, well, you can work off your lung, you can go do a life debt, which is like how we see so many characters in this universe go about it, or you can go home, we'll just bill you, and it's like, oh man, like what a vicious world that they're living in. And I mean, clearly we've met a lot of people that do these like life debts through the Utani corporation. I guess this isn't even the Utani corporation. So if there's 5 different corporations, I imagine everyone kind of has their own way of going about it. But yeah, I did really like that scene. I kind of mentioned it earlier, but I forgot to shout out that specific of it.
Cool.
So just getting back to the Wendy talking to the Xeno, do you think this one they're gonna keep and it's gonna grow and it's gonna be like Blue in Jurassic World? Like this is gonna be your hunting companion?
Should we
Do
get
we
on a
want this?
motorcycle?
Do we want this, knowing that this is 2 years before Alien?
The
I don't
biggest
think.
thing is, trying to control aliens. I feel like that's just been the general theme that
Mhm.
Weyland Yutani has focused on in the comics and other stories, and that you can't control these things.
Mhm.
Uh, it's cool that she can maybe talk to it, and I'm kind of excited to see what kind of things it's gonna say in response. I mean, we already got an allusion to or alluding to that, where it's like, it didn't like that it was cut open. We shouldn't have done that. How would you feel if you were cut open? It's like, okay, well,
What the
there's that.
fuck? What the
Yeah,
fuck, man?
some baseline stuff there. But other than that, I'm excited to break down into this a little bit more further because that whole scene of it just it shot out through the lung and it was just on the table, just like chilling there and whatnot. I thought, okay, this is some really cool stuff. This is content we've never seen before with Alien, right?
This is the scene. That, that's
It's
that's
a hundred
how yeah,
percent.
that's how I was looking at her, and she's just singing into it. But yeah, I don't know. I'm interested in just kind of what's gonna happen with this season near the end of like if like what you said, like let's say this whole thing goes to shit, the whole island kind of Prodigy collapses, and the secret just kind of gets buried here. Like I think that'll help a lot of my issues I have with. I mean, it's a prequel thing, right? Like anytime they're
Hmm.
introducing new things to the universe, like it's not always the cleanest the way that it sinks in with the rest of the world. But I don't know. I don't know what it is. Maybe I'm just not vibing this Earth also in the universe. But I am enjoying like the actual performances of the actors across the board, and didn't really highlight her too much. But I think Wendy is still like just so fantastic.
Hmm.
She didn't have like as much last week, but having her here again now that she's kind of repaired and made the deal with Boy Cavalier with her brother, and yeah, just the whole idea of like what she's able to do with the frequencies and everything like that. It is interesting, and how she was able to just kind of control tech through the different frequencies, like she did when she was baiting her brother, through the messaging in episode 1 or 2. Can't remember that first week of the releases, but just seeing how that expands. Like, do you think she'll get more than just what she's able to do with the Xenos? Because it just seems like if she's able to master that, like she's gonna be just the master of magnetism to an extent. Like just controlling the different frequencies and technologies. And technology is so big in this world. Like she could literally control probably cyborgs and synths. If you want to keep going in that direction of her just being able to, like, we've never seen something to that extent. It's not like force powers, but in theory, I feel like it could happen with what they've already introduced here.
Yeah, no, I would agree with that, and it's something too where this character has been doing things without really knowing how they do it. Like kind of like, how do you say that? You don't do breathing; it just happens, and you don't really acknowledge it. It's just doing it. And I feel like, okay, she's tapping into that kind of power source now, being able to do these things, Wendy. And I mean, he obviously she had a little bit of guidance when it came to creating that voice from Boy Wonder. Like, oh, you got the hardware, you just gotta like just do it, don't think about it kind of a deal. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see where those powers really escalate into. Um,
Mm.
I mean, Nibs is kind of going down that road, but I don't think her powers are really giving her a baby.
Oh fuck. Okay, yeah, Pearl. I was like, who the hell's Nibs?
Pearl, yeah.
Uh, yeah, no Nibs. I don't know how I feel about this one either. I did like the scene. Like I thought it was really scary how it was just kind of escalating and like showing
Hmm.
how vulnerable the lady really is, right? Like if she gets angry, she could just beat the shit out of her. It's we've seen that happen many times with robots in these situations, and like it is still a child in there. Obviously, children get temperamental. It's nice when you're an adult, and worst case scenario, if they try to go at you, you can kind of survive. Uh, not that hopefully it ever gets to that level, but yeah, no, I did like that. And do you think she did get something from the tentacle alien? Because like she held it with her hand. We've seen it happen so many times how easily people get infected from like alien creatures. It seems like this one kind of has to just go in the eye. Like, do you think she's actually gonna produce something, or is she just fucking out to lunch?
I think she's out to lunch. I think she's just
Yeah,
cracking under the stress, the pressure
yeah.
of everything that unfolded.
It just made me think back to that scene because like they specifically do a flashback when she's like talking about it, and then she's like, "Do you want to talk about what happened on the ship?" It's like, "No, no, I don't. I don't want to. I don't want to mention that," because she was just so terrified about what had
Mm.
happened there. Um, and yeah, I'm another one I'm curious about for how it's going to develop, and I mean, yeah, what's going to happen there.
Yeah. Cool.
Nice.
I think I've exhausted my notes. Do you have
Mm.
anything else?
Just one thing that I forgot to mention when you
Mm-hmm.
know we were saying how she's able to talk to the Xenos now, and if she's able to talk to like the one that's hunting them, I bet
I'm gonna fucking kill you!
Just speaks perfect English.
it's just Patrick Dempsey as the voice of the Xeno. We've never had a Xenomorph talk on camera
That's
before.
right.
And it's
Patrick Dempsey voicing Xeno in
I'm
Alien
gonna
Earth.
fucking kill you. That'd be great.
Oh yeah.
That would be
Cool.
something that I'm like, okay, this isn't canon. This is an this is
Oh
a
no.
side adventure.
No, that breaks canon
Yeah.
for sure. Holy shit.
Which again, like I am still having some of those issues also of just knowing that this is technically going to be taking place before all that. It's just I don't know. It's just weird. Of like, I guess there's just many different research vessels from Utani, and like they just like they got one to Earth, right? Like it's there. It's on Prodigy Island, but still we keep just sending people out there to go get this specific xenomorph. I
It
don't know.
depends how many ships they sent out. I'm inclined to say, and again, I haven't read a lot of the stories surrounding
Mm-hmm.
this show, of course, but I'm inclined to say this could be like the one and only ship that they sent out, and it had to be like a very secretive thing.
Mm.
Uh, and I mean, it takes like 65 years, right, for the ship to go out and come back. So that's quite a
It's a whole grandma's
le-
life.
that's a
Old
whole
old
grandma's life.
Utani is gone.
That's right. It's a lengthy bit of time. So I think, and this kind of makes sense in my head canon to how Ash acted in that first Alien movie was that okay, we're gonna program all of our Wayland Yutani synths to just kind of be on the lookout for these kind of things that could pop up on your exploits, your expeditions. Like, okay, there's a ship. Oh, there's xenomorph eggs in there. All right, make sure you bring one of them back. Let's get it in. Let's do this. Because I mean, when you look at how agreeable Ash was in that first movie to just accommodating the xenomorph, it's and I understand that this project came out after that, so they're retrospectively changing it up or making it adapt so it blends with the first Alien movie. But Morrow was acting very much like Ash was, and I think, okay, if this ship, if this expedition failed, Weyland Yutani could not get their hands on a xenomorph, and so they basically put a protocol in with all of their synths saying, okay, if you come across a xenomorph, get it back to Earth, and that's what the ultimate mission was
Right.
in Alien. But no one else in the company knew this. I mean, yeah, it would have been Weyland Yutani and Aliens. So in Aliens, uh, they didn't even know what they were dealing with, what kind of xenomorph and
Mm-hmm.
all that kind of stuff. So again, it's just one of those higher top level security clearance kind of things. And yeah, I don't know if that makes sense. It's just kind of my
Yeah,
my
no.
theory. Just
No,
the
definitely.
protocol went out widespread. Oh, you're a mining ship, doesn't matter. You got a synth. I also should say too that I think they were talking in the first Alien movie about how Ash wasn't supposed to originally be there. They swapped out their science officer pretty quick previously to them
Mm-hmm.
leaving. So that could be something pre-existing where they knew like, hey, the ship, the Nostromo is going to be going along this route here where we picked up a signal, so maybe it'll pick up an egg, kind of a thing. So
Right. Yeah. No,
yeah,
absolutely.
contingencies.
Contingency.
Yeah. But
Winter's
anyways,
contingency. Isn't that what it's called?
winter contingency, Halo Reach. Oh,
Fuck yeah.
yeah.
Okay. I
There
knew
you
it rang a
go.
bell.
Yeah. Cool. Well, I guess I should have done another ad break, but I think we're okay. We're okay. That's it though for this episode. Thank you for tuning in. We'll be back next week, episode 5, breaking down more Alien Earth. So until then, we'll see you in the search bar. Have a good one.
Bye.